Hello, everyone. This is a quick question with Professor Thayer talking to you today about your project check-in worksheet number 2. What do you need to do for that? So oftentimes students are a little bit anxious about the check-in and they want to know what it is that I'm expecting them to have done. And so let's just have a chat about that today. So what we're expecting you're going to do is that you've started your project. The official guideline I use is that you should have attempted a minimum of 2 of the 3 things that you put down as goals for your project. Now, in a practical sense, it may not be possible to necessarily divide your project up that way, and I understand that our schedule has been, to say the least, a little bit interrupted this semester. So what we're looking for is that you've gotten started. Some of the things that oftentimes come up at this point in your project is maybe you've started it and you realize like, oh, maybe this is a little over my head. How could I modify the scope of my project so it's something I can get done? Or maybe you realize like, oh, I started it and I'm done already. Wow, that was really easy. I wonder if this is difficult enough for me to get an A on. Maybe I haven't showcased enough of my skills. So some of the things we're going to be looking for are, have you showcased what it is you've learned in Python? Have you demonstrated your working knowledge of it? Have you included only things that we did in the first half of the class, or did you go a little bit further and maybe include something from the second half? So some of the things that you might include from the second half are advanced data structures. Did you use file input and output? Did you use lists? Have you incorporated a dictionary? Maybe you went ahead and tried object-oriented programming. I know we haven't done that yet at the time of recording, but those are the topics we'll be covering in this class. So you might think about, have you gone above and beyond? Have you shown that you were able to incorporate any of those things into what you were doing for your coding? You don't necessarily have to have all of it be an advanced topic, but it would definitely be nice to have at least something in there. An A project would have at least one advanced topic incorporated, something that we talked about in the second half of the course. And we'd be looking for, have you followed what it is we've taught you in the class? So you should have signatures on all your functions. If I take a look at your functions, you should be telling me what's the input and output, what are all the types, are there any preconditions? You should be organizing your code in a meaningful way. Now we learned how to do functions, so you should be using them. Have you made an appropriate use? Have you thought about how to divide up the tasks that it takes in order to do your project and made reasonable choices about which ones you're going to use? Have you chosen appropriate data structures for the things you want to represent? So just using an advanced data structure is good, but have you used it in a way that makes sense? Did you do file input and output for something that really would have made more sense to prompt the user to say? Those kinds of things. So those are some of the things we're going to think about, and some of the things we're going to review. Those will be some of the things that'll be going through my mind as I take a look at your projects and say, oh, I wonder, what could this person do to improve their project? And what would it take to get from where they are right now to completing that project at the end of the semester? So those are the things that I'll definitely have in mind. It's also an opportunity for you to get feedback. So maybe you're trying to do something and you realize that you didn't know how to do it, or maybe you attempted to do something using strings and you realize, oh, this isn't really working out, or this seems really hard. I wonder if there's a better way. Or maybe you find yourself having very large if blocks with many, many else statements in it. Could there be a better way to organize what it is you want to do? Those are some of the things we want to think about, and think about, do you have the skills to do this in a better way? Could you improve upon this? And what is it that we should have as the goals for your particular project to go from where you are now to completing the project? Is there any outside information that you need? Do you need a database? Do you need to learn a particular skill? Maybe you need to bring in clocks. Do you need to learn how to import time? What are some of the things that could be helpful to you in order to complete the tasks that you need to do? So it's my opportunity to sort of like give you some preliminary feedback on how you're doing on your project, how I think it's going to turn out. And it's also your opportunity to solicit information from me. What is it that you need? That's what I'm looking for from you. How is it that I can help you? Are there specific things I could help you learn or point you to, or perhaps somebody's done a project that's similar to yours. Maybe it's the same topic, or maybe they used a similar method, or something like that, and I could describe to you how they solved a particular problem that you're encountering. So certainly feel free to reach out to me. We have our project workshops on the horizon. So what we would have done is we would have had in-class time to do that, and we would have had presentations in class, but instead, unfortunately, we can't do that. So what we'll do instead is I will be available, and I'll be setting up some appointments with you, maybe like 5 minutes a piece or so, to just check in, and you can show me how your code is doing so far at that point, and we'll make sure that you're on the right track for finishing your project on time. All right, don't hesitate to reach out to me or to talk to your TAs. Actually, I think all of our TAs have seen some of the projects from the previous sections, so they are all really excellent resources, and certainly I'm happy to do whatever I can to help you get the most out of your project. All right, well, thank you very much. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.